What's up, guys, and welcome to this. This is your New Japan Pro Wrestling Best of Super Juniors Night 10 show review that took place yesterday on the 25th of May from Nagoya, Japan. Attendance for the show was 1,404 lovely people that got to enjoy some Best of Super Juniors action. Welcome. If you haven't already, hit the like button, drop a comment, your thoughts and opinions on yesterday now's show. Win, loss, or tie as always. I'm going to give this show a strong tie. I wouldn't go win. I think it was a good show. It wasn't great. There's probably some bits I'd skip. But as like a viewing experience, it was quite a simple sit down, and it was not difficult. It wasn't kind of 2015 Raw-esque difficult to sit through. So that's always helpful, especially on these tours where you're seeing the same guys again and again and again. Also, big shout out to Dion, who's been doing some good job on the channel. He's been catching up while I have been absent. So he did, I believe, nights 7 and 8 as well as 3 and 4. I have kept up with most of it. For example, I even have my full notes done for night 7. I just didn't. The trouble is, when you do these tours, is you can watch the show and be like, right, I'll record that tonight or tomorrow, but by that time, a fucking new 2 shows have already been done. So it's just kind of been, right, pick your poison, pick your moments, and this was a time I was like, right, cool, I've got some time here. I can do night 10 at least, as we approach 11 and 12, 11 being the final of Block A, and the 12th being the final of Block B, and then obviously the 13th night of this tour will be the finals, which takes place on Sunday. Anyway, let's get down to breaking down this show. B block, we had Ryusuke Taguchi versus Robbie Eagles in the opening contest of the evening. Heading into this one, Eagles and Taguchi are both on 6 points, so the loser in this one is eliminated. That's one thing I do like as you come towards the end of these tours, especially the tournaments and the blocks and the round robin style that they do over in Japan a lot, and over there in America, where they do it with the AEW with like the Continental Classic and things like that. When you start doing matches where the loser gets eliminated, it starts to get really exciting. Both started off hot here, going for submission wins right from the start. Eagles working the leg made complete sense. His finisher moves the leg bar. There was a really nice spot when Eagles went for a springboard Taguchi mid-air hit and ass attack. Taguchi, unfortunately, is one of those where you're either going to get comedic Taguchi or you're going to get the fucking man Taguchi. So either the toilet bowl or the man. And you got a mixture of the man and the toilet bowl today. I'm a big fan of Taguchi, by the way. Please don't take that as me knocking him. When he turns it on, I actually think he's so fucking underrated. It's not even funny. Like, I remember especially I think it was earlier on in this tournament. Like, I think he had a match against Ishimori, I believe. It was the main event, I think, of night 1 or night 2. And I really felt like I was pulling for him. And I was like, oh, hopefully he stays like that the whole time, really motivated. But it happens every year with Best of Super Juniors. He always picks up a win early on, and you're like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. He's gonna make a big run, and he doesn't. There's a really good spot there here where Eagles went for a rebound lariat, but as he came back in from outside the ring, Taguchi got a ankle lock applied, which was really nice, and then Eagles got the win with the Shining Wizard, ending the funky toilet's dream of going to Dominion to challenge for the IWGP World Championship. So Taguchi is eliminated, gone. See you later. Catch you down the line. Eagles on 8 points, still mathematically possible to do it. So who knows? It was a respectable opener, especially for a night where you've got 10 junior heavyweight matches. It's kind of difficult when you can only do so much. It's not like when normally on these shows, for example, on nights 11 and 12, there's tag matches before, then it's the 5 block matches. I think that works. I think I do prefer that. I understand, obviously, restraints in time for them. They don't have to book 20 dates for the Best of Super Juniors. I completely understand that. But for someone consuming it, having just 5 block matches a night is a lot better. Some people might prefer get it all done, get it all out of the way. They're quite happy to sit there and smash through kind of 2.5 to 3 hours every night. That's no problem, but I prefer having Block A, Block B, Block A, Block B, rather than both crammed into one night. It does take a lot, because, like, think about it, if there was only 5, 8, you're also limiting the amount of time that these guys are getting in there. Simply because if they were, just 5 matches, you could then give them 20 minutes, and that's 100 minutes, rather than excuse me, giving them kind of 10. So it does definitely make a difference. But Eagles will be facing Desperado on the 29th, which is night 12. So that'll be on Thursday. I'm looking forward to that one indeed. And then we had Kushida versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru, both on 6 points here. So again, loser gets eliminated. And just think kind of back 10 years ago, Kanemaru doing stuff in Noah and stuff like that. That's kind of something that would be very interesting 10 years ago, Kanemaru against Kushida. And now 10 years in the future, you're kind of like, oh, okay, this is cool. As I said on, I think it was night 1 and night 2 recap, I said how Kushida kind of going to WWE, going to NXT, really derailed his career. He was, mega popular, his stuff with, Alex Shelley back in the day, and then a bit as the Time Splitters, and then going on crazy junior heavyweight runs, and his matches with Hiromu Takahashi back in the day were incredible. And the junior division was, even though back then especially when Kushida and Hiromu were at top, there's kind of like no one else, whereas now you've got quite a lot, and they bring in guys. I mean, they've always brought in guys, but nonetheless. But then he went to NXT, did nothing, really nothing. Did stuff on 205, but basically nothing, and then did stuff in the LA dojo for Japan, and then went to TNA and did nothing. So he really has made a poor business decision. Well, not probably business decision-wise. He's probably living the dream, all that money. But career kind of trajectory, if that's the right word, I think he definitely fucked up. I think he definitely fucked up going to WWE. Is what it is. Anyway, so this one was what is what it is, guys. It's what you're expecting. Kanemaru in control until Kushida basically got the win with a backslide. So Kushida stays alive here. It was a quick match. He'd done his job. Kanemaru is eliminated. Kushida is technically still in it, but very unlikely. And then again, I don't want to come across as a hater of Kushida, because I do really like Kushida. I do. I think he's great. But I think he just made the wrong call, and I'm assuming he just lives in America. And obviously, moving to NXT to WWE when he did, you just assume that he's kind of moved to America now, and that's why he did stuff with TNA. Like, dude, just go to AEW, man. Like, just go wrestle for Ring of Honor. Like, just go earn some fucking cash. There's stuff you can do, but he just kind of, like heading into this tournament, who actually thought Kushida was going to do well and win? Anyway, then we had Yo versus Titan. Yo heading into this one is on 8 points. Titan, this is block B, so Titan's on 6. So again, heading into this one, if Titan loses, he will be eliminated. Another thing I do want to touch upon that I like about kind of tournament wrestling, especially in Japan, is that the deeper you get into the tournament, the more kind of bandaged, the more taped up the wrestlers get, which I just think aesthetically it's like you've come on this journey with these guys, and you've seen them put on some good matches, and wrestlers have worked, say for example your shoulder, and then they'll have it taped. I really dig that. I really do. This one started off with a nice tope con hilo by Titan. Commentary as well for this show. English, something Stewart. Apologies. He did a great job. He went solo. He did a very good job, especially at bringing in the importance of each match by saying Titan, for example, needs to win or he's eliminated, and Yo needs to win to get on, and it just really clarifies. So hopefully when G1 time comes, I know they usually do it, and you realistically can figure it out yourself, but that is one of the perks in tournaments of having UK speaking commentary teams. But yeah, Titan also does this thing that I love. It was kind of like so imagine both are running towards the ropes, and they turn. As one turns, as he turns, Titan hits a fucking DDT. It looked really nice. And then Yo with a nice dragon suplex for a near fall, and then got the win with a direct drive. So Yo with 10 points, and Titan is eliminated with 6 points. Not really long, this one. It didn't get given enough time. But for what they did, I thought it was really good, really fun. I wouldn't mind seeing that in a lengthier match. Then we had Dragon Dia against Robbie X. So again, loser is eliminated in this one as they're both on 6 points. This one starts off fucking guns blazing. Tope con hilo from Dia. Robbie X uses a chair, and then he hits a running swanton off the chair onto Yo, who's on a chair on the outside. That was a really nice spot. X then basically in the ring, taking control, slowing the pace down until Dia hits the Rip to the Rana, which is a head scissors off the top, which always looks fucking crazy. He hits a jumping into a DDT, which got a good near fall. Robbie X with a Liger Bomb for 2. A scary spiked fucking Hurricane Rana got the win there for Dia. If Robbie X didn't kind of stop his momentum, I think that could have been very scary, very dangerous, potentially career-ending. But he didn't, because they're professionals. That's why they're there in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Dia gets the win. 8 points. Robbie X is eliminated. Best match of the night up to that point, in my opinion. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Speaking of thoroughly enjoyed match of the night, we had Nick Wayne going one-on-one against Mayo. Both on 8 points. The winner joins Yo at this point on 10 points. Again, this one was just very good. I really would recommend going out. And this is one of those where, excuse me, when I said in the Best of the Super Juniors preview, I did say that I think this one will be a banger. And you know what? I'm not right often, but I was right then. So you just start off with some strikes. And then Mayo hits his... I love it when he does that running senton straight onto Wayne, who was draping on the ropes. It was really nice. Good near falls. Mayo then went for hits a rebound insecurity, which then basically Wayne sells into a handspring insecurity, which then Mayo sells by nipping up into a stunner, and they both go down. Crowd dug it. Really cool stuff there. It was like some GCW type shit. Really good. And then Mayo with a running leaping elbow, which Wayne mid-air counted into a bridge German for 2, which was such a nice spot. It was really, really well done. The fact that, Mayo leaped and twisted in mid-air as Wayne caught him, boom, it was really nice. Wayne then hits Wayne's World, which Mayo counters into a springboard cutter for a good near fall. Mayo then with a crossface gets the win, so Nick Wayne taps. Mayo on 10 points, Wayne on 8. Both still technically alive, technically possible finalists for this year's Best of the Super Juniors. A really, really fun match. If there's one match you have to watch from this show, it's this. Again, I wish this was main event and they were given 10 more minutes, but beggars can't be choosers. But still, really, really good fun there. Yeah, I'm really... It's going to be interesting to see what... obviously, Mayo works for DDT, but it'll be interesting to see what he kind of does, because Best of Super Juniors, you'd always get these guys come over from different promotions, and whether they're freelancers, whether they're signed to other companies, is kind of it's completely different for each wrestler. But like T-Town from CMLL, Mayo for DDT, Nick Wayne from AEW. But it would just be nice if it's not just once a year. Like, it'd be really nice if all of these guys for the next kind of year are kind of constantly on the roster, making it to the kind of Road 2 events, like for example Power Struggle, doing some Road 2, and then the actual Power Struggle show. Like, I'd love it if Ninja Mac or Titan or Mayo like had a run where they got a big win at a Road 2 show against the junior champion, and then build to the Power Struggle show just for argument's sake, or Destruction. I think that's fun. I think that let's just keep because you don't want to keep going Despy versus Hiromu. You don't want to keep doing that again and again. Then we had Ninja Mac against Kosei Fujita. Ninja Mac already eliminated mathematically. Fujita is on 8 points in this one, so he needs the win so that he can get to 10 to join him before that main event bell rings. It was a nice change in this one. Started off with a fucking collar and elbow tie-up and some chain wrestling and some chop exchange, which was really nice to see. Feet of a swanton off the top to the floor. Back in the ring, works the leg, which makes sense as Ninja Mac is the high flyer. Makes a lot of sense. There was a half crab by Fujita, and Max was screaming really loudly, like it to the point because I had my headphones on, and at that point I only had one in, and I heard the scream. I put the second one back in. I was like, that actually sounds like a pretty, like, what the fuck's going on there? And I like it when, like for Despy does it. Obviously, you can't physically see their face because they're wearing a mask. So the fact they're verbal means that they can enhance the match by telling a story through their vocals. You know, they can't pull that expression of pain on their face, but they can with their voice. There's a really nice German into an armbar by Ninja Mac. Then Vita hit a German off the top, which looked incredible. And it was one of those where when he went for it, it's kind of like, remember back in the day when Kurt Angle used to do the the German off the apron, and the other wrestler would just hold on. I was waiting for Mac to kind of hold on to that top buckle, but he didn't, and they did it, and it looked really good. And then Mac hit the Ninja Bomb to get the win, which is basically a Phoenix double 630. It's just crazy. It really is. Fujita though stays on 8, but Ninja Mac goes up to 6. Good match here though. And then we had Sho against Taiji Ishimori in Block B. So we had House of Torture versus War Dogs. I thought we saw the end of this. I'm joking, it wasn't that bad. It just, when I saw it on the card and I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this doesn't seem fun. Sho heading into this one, if he lost, would be eliminated. He's on 6 points, Ishimori's on 8. There's loads of brawling. Yujiro got involved. Sonata came out, hit Ishimori with Sho's wrench. Sorry, we call that spanner. And then Sho covered to get the win. It wasn't bad. It's just kind of, I don't really want to watch that anymore. I feel like we've been there, done that. And then we had another match which I can picture people not liking the finish of. We have A Block, we have Clark Connors against Francisco Akira. Obviously it's United Empire and Bullet Club in this blood feud. I put on my notes, Akira is my pick to win this after I loved his match with Hiromu at Korakuen Hall last week. I was literally, if I did a show on that, it would have been Akira's breakout party. That's what the review would have been. I really feel like, you know, especially I remember watching him years ago in All Japan when he was doing stuff, and then seeing him now, it's a crazy transition. He's so great. That's one thing about Best of Super Juniors is normally he'd be in a 6-man or junior heavyweight tag title match. You don't really get to see them go one-on-one with these guys. So to see, and the standard is just great. Winner of this one joins Wato on 10 points. I love the start of this one as well. So Akira, is already basically at the end of the ramp, and Clark Connors comes out, and they lock eyes, and they just run and charge at each other, boom, boom, boom. You can imagine it, brawling through the crowd, throwing into chairs, barricade, well, there's no barricade there this time, throwing into chairs, all those shenanigans. And then Akira gets busted open from the tire, and then Red Shoes comes out because the ref bumps like 10 times. We bumped once. The ref then comes out and tells Akira, look, put the chair down or you're gone, basically. And Akira just goes bam, whacks him with a chair. Red Shoes rings the bell. So you get Clark Connors here on 10 points now, and then it ended with Connors hitting a spear through Akira on the table. It was fine. It felt very like what you expect on Monday Night Raw, but the feud is the feud, especially when it's been going on for as long as it has. It is what it is. And then we had up next, we had El Desperado against Kevin Knight in B Block. So heading in, Despy is on 8 points and Knight is on 6. Knight's already eliminated as he can reach 10, but he wouldn't have the tie breaks to be able to if the results went his way. This one was okay. It wasn't like great. It was just all right. It's not my notes. I got some spots here that happened, but it wasn't. There was a really nice missed frog splash off the top, and then Despy hit a spear for 2. Pinchy Loco got a near 4, and then he hit that 3 times more to got the win. It was nothing spectacular. It was still good. There was nothing bad about it. It just kind of happened. Obviously, Kevin Knight's doing stuff for AEW. Speaking of that, I'm looking forward to watching AEW Double or Nothing later on this evening. Review will be late. It will either be tonight or tomorrow night. But I am going to be watching it. Got a friend coming around. We're gonna have a beer or bevy or two and watch the show, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, and also I'm gonna be, I don't know why I'll go off topic before we get to the main event. I'm going to be starting to do a series, something that I've really wanted to do for a really long time, and I feel that it's going to be fucking awesome. So what I'm going to do is do a series called Wrestling Rewind, and I'll be picking a year, and every week I'll be going through and I'll be reviewing the pay-per-views. So for example, the first one, so the first episode of Wrestling Review, which I've already watched the show for, and I've nearly already finished sorting everything out to be able to record, i.e. pictures, graphics, everything like that. I'm going to do TNA 2005. So it's still going to be here on the SOS Wrestletalk YouTube channel, but it's going to be Wrestling Rewind, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the pay-per-views, the major events for 1 year per company. So I'm going to do TNA 2005. So I'm already 3/4 of the way through and finished watching Final Resolution 2005, which is the first pay-per-view, and then every week I'm going to review the next pay-per-view. So I'm going to basically within 12 weeks, obviously I'll do a video for a major storyline. But every week / 2 weeks there'll be a new TNA 2005 pay-per-view, and then at the end you'll have the full year's pay-per-view, and then after that we can do the next year. We can do a WWE year, we can do an ECW year or a WCW year, a New Japan year. So much we can do. I just feel that for me personally, when doing these shows, I feel like it's really important with the turnaround. So for example, if I know I can't record on a Wednesday night and a Thursday night or a Friday night, the next time I can record is a Saturday, there's no point of reviewing Raw from Monday, there's no point of reviewing Dynamite, no point of reviewing the previous night's New Japan shows, because it's not current, if you understand what I'm saying. Is it dated? So for example, basically AEW Double or Nothing has to be reviewed tonight. If it doesn't get reviewed tonight, what's the point? You know, you're already wrestling moves so quickly. So what I want to do is go back and have no pressure on the specific date. Give myself a full week where I can, and I want to have it so that I actually have some in the can. And I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope the series kicks off, and that's what I want. I really am pumped for it. Watching this TNA 2005 is so fun, and hopefully you guys do join me on that one. Anyway, and we had Hiromu Takahashi against Master Wato in the main event. So heading into this one, Wato was on 10 points, Hiromu was on 8. So a win for Wato here puts him 2 points clear with only one match to go, so puts him in a great position. And Hiromu can tie with 10 points, so it'll be him and Clark Connors that would be left in A block, as well as obviously Wato. The crowd are definitely the loudest for this one, which is obviously not strange. It's obviously very important because it's kind of, if Wato wins, Hiromu's eliminated, and so's nearly everyone else. So there's that. Wato hit a really nice springboard uppercut, a Ressia Demente for a good near fall, and then Wato with a spring high bridge German, and then Hiromu with the time bomb got the win. Hiromu here with 10 points, Wato on 10 points, Clark Connors on 10 points, respectable main event, all to play for as we approach the finals of this year's Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And I myself, LK, will be reviewing tomorrow's show, which takes place on Tuesday, and I will be reviewing the show on Sunday. So make sure you stick around. I literally just got a message from my mate saying I'll be leaving in 10 minutes, so that is absolutely perfect. We're going to get some AEW Double or Nothing content watched, and I'll be reviewing that hopefully tonight. Let's hope I don't get drunk. Let's hope the show's not too bad. I'm sure it'll be fine. But with that in mind, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you stay safe, stay well, and I'll be catching your asses down the line.